effect, actually.
My forehead is very dry.
It could be a filter. It could be the lens. It could be the light. It could be dark.
That doesn't get rid of it. That just is a background blur. Okay.
Did you
Don't lick it.
What?
I feel weird.
Cause when you lick it, like you have like
I'm just kidding. I didn't actually lick it.
Did you not? Okay.
I didn't actually lick it.
there's
But
like
no, it's definitely not the lens. Maybe turn off your shit.
I'm gonna some water. I'll be right back.
like
There's definitely blurriness. There's definitely blurriness happening from. Oh look, it looks better now.
Nah, it looks the same to me.
it looks about the same.
It could be the lighting. Maybe turn on some lights in the background. I don't know.
Let me see. Hey Google, lights on.
My camera feels low res as well, but it's supposed to be like a 1080 camera. I think we have the same camera, Justin. Yours looks a lot better. What
C920?
Yeah, C920.
I think it's lighting. The low light on this camera is like not great, so I am lit to fuck. Like, I have the ball light over there, the ring light right on my desktop, and then this
the ring
light
light's
over here.
Ring light's good. Yeah, I think maybe
Lindsay just bought 2 of these. You can't even see them.
Damn, those are bright as fuck.
Are they like studio lights?
Yeah, they're key lights. I only hooked one up because the other one was fucking. Why would I need 2 of those back here?
You do one from either side, so you get like the even light
Yeah,
on your face.
and you gotta light the background a little bit, or else it just really does weird shit.
I never would have guessed where I took my shoes off would have been in the frame. If you asked me to guess the odds, I would have said like less than 5%.
You know what? Nate's lighting is actually bizarrely good.
Like wait,
Yeah,
We
it
have
really
heating.
is. What's your fucking camera?
I got this thing.
Oh, okay, those are some lights.
Those are lights.
I'll get some lights. I'll order ring light.
Yeah, ring light. I think this ring light was like $10, and it's powered by USB or something.
Yeah.
Not bad for what it is.
I'd be kind of screwed though. No, I wouldn't be screwed. It'd just be annoying because if it's USB, then I still have to start like plugging and unplugging things out of my hub.
See,
Yeah.
if I put the light up,
Jesus.
I just look like I'm on the fucking sun.
Yeah. Oh my god.
It's like the
What camera do you have?
It might be the background light.
he might have the same camera we have. Do you have the Logitech C920?
I'm pretty sure I fucking do. Yeah. Why does it just look like garbage on mine?
See, Justin's looks good. I think I look low res. And I think you look hazy.
Is it plugged in a USB 1 port?
No, it's plugged into USB 3.1.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got mine way before you guys did. I can't really explain anything else. Maybe mine was just better quality when they built it. I don't fucking know.
Fucking microphone.
I've got this like knockoff Logitech C921 thing. It like looks the same, but it's OS DOM.
Is it the one from
Excellent.
Micro Center?
Excellent job, Nate.
I think I got it from Staples.
I see.
There's a C920X.
I don't know what the difference is between the X and the S. I was looking at the other day.
Special feature, low light. I do. I look super hazy. I don't know what that is.
Unplug, replug.
I'd say sepia.
Unplug, replug might be it. Or turn off the NVIDIA thing.
It looks
Yeah,
sepia.
everything
That's
is
without the
turned off.
NVIDIA shit, right?
Yeah, look. You can see my background.
Yeah.
Totes.
Can you guys hear me plug in keys?
Is that clanking sound you? Does that sound you?
No, that's Nate.
Oh,
Yeah, I just plugged in these monitors and they're all discombobulated. I need to set the display.
No, those types of mics, Justin, you have to be like right in front of to really hear, which is why they're great, but it's also why they can be
Right,
annoying.
Yeah, these monitors couldn't be more out of order. Okay. I think this is.
That's a bit better.
I don't know what's
That's better, right?
it looks
Yeah.
the same.
No, it's like at least 7% better.
Right?
I'm gonna try one more thing.
Nate, I was reading about a ribbon a ribbon speaker with fucking 3,000 watts of max output.
Wow.
It was wild, and it shoots the sound 90 degrees out.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not an expert in like speaker design, but what I read about ribbons, I was sold. It's just like less mass vibrating, better highs.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense to me. I don't know.
Do you still use your monitors?
Yeah, I actually those are what I've got like a Bluetooth like thing hooked up to them, and that's just like what I use for the projector, basically.
Excellent job.
These monitors. The Bluetooth thing is kind of finicky, actually. Like, the main problem with it is like anytime you connect to it, it goes like boop 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 boop, and it's actually really loud. And sometimes, like, I don't know. Sometimes that'll be at like 5 in the morning, right? It's like if I just turn my computer on, if I want to check something, it'll be like boop 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 boop, and I'm like, God, everybody probably heard.
Yeah. Have you guys ever watched Dank Pods?
Dank Pods?
Yeah. It's just a YouTube channel. He does like headphone reviews and like he looks at old iPods and shit.
Oh yeah,
channel.
I've seen that guy.
But he has a Bluetooth speaker that he calls the sexy speaker, and it's just like this. It turns on and it's like Bluetooth on, and it's just like this really sexy sounding Australian woman. I want one of those.
Yeah, there's like no config for it. It's like you can't change it, you can't turn it off. It's just like if a Bluetooth speaker makes a connection noise, it just makes that noise. There's like nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, it's like hardware shit, right?
Yeah, something like there's probably some like file flash onto some like microprocessor.
Maybe hack it, download the firmware, and then like flash it with your own firmware that gets rid of it.
Jesus.
It's possible, but like this without people telling you exactly like how to do that, that's just very difficult.
Also, if you're using those ribbons for like TV and movies, I would definitely get a pretty decent center channel. Center channel is super duper important for like TV and movies.
Oh yeah, you're totally right. Yeah, it's actually not got a good center channel, and like sometimes like depending on the mix of a movie, sometimes you just like can't even hear them talking. It'll just all be like music.
Yeah.
But I think that's like more than one thing's got to go wrong for that to happen, though. I think that just means it's like bad mixing on the movie mainly.
I mean, well, no, because most stuff will come out with multiple like audio tracks, and one audio track will probably just be stereo, where it's just like left and right, and then everything just comes out of there. But if it's like, if you pick up either the surround sound or like the regular left, right, center audio track, then you're gonna lose a lot by not having a center channel. There's a really good one. I think it's like $60 or $90. I bought one of those. It's pretty good. It's
well, that Bluetooth thing only has like.
Oh, is it a 2-channel thing?
Yeah.
Well, Nate, time to go down the rabbit hole of a home theater.
Maybe we'll just get a soundbar.
Please don't do that. Soundbar is going to be like at least $150, and with $150, you could literally just get like a 3-channel or like a 5.1 channel receiver or something, and just get like a cheap center channel, and it's going to be 10 times better.
Like
than a soundbar.
That's kind of the shit I would do in my 20s when like I want to really min-max like how much I'm paying versus how much quality I'm getting. But I think that requires a shitload of effort actually. And the older I get, the less effort I actually want to put into shit.
Right.
The best sound
I really care about.
The best sounding setup I ever had was actually like this combination of like a fairly like average PC sound setup with 2 little left-right channels and then like a sub box, and then that combined with this like basically random like mid-range heavy kind of like consumer stereo thing. I wired it just to play both of those at once, And they like complemented each other perfectly, and it was actually the best sound of any like setup that I've ever had. I think it actually sounded better than these monitors, but that's partly by design because the thing about monitors is that they're designed to be forensic. They're designed to be like they're designed to put the sound under like a microscope so you can fix problems with it. They're not actually supposed to sound good.
Right.
So like that's partly by design, but it's like that other random setup that I had actually just sounded like better. Just random shit.
Right.
I just got them to play it. And my theory is like, if you've got a bunch of speakers that are all like flawed for different reasons, and you just play them all at the same time, the flaws all
they cancel each other out.
Yeah, and the problem with that though is like cheap speakers tend to be flawed in like similar ways.
I guess that's true.
But for that one, they were actually just different sizes, so I think.
That actually looks way better. What'd you do?
Me?
Yeah.
I changed some settings in the camera application, and I just bought a new camera.
Oh damn. Okay.
Well, I realized I don't have the C920. I have like the C6 something. I just bought it. No. I just bought a cheap C920. For now.
Can you even get a cheap C920? I thought this was wrong with mine.
It was like $60.
Yeah, they shot up to like fucking $200 when work from home became big.
I want to get the camcorder. I still am going to get the camcorder because I want to do some mini painting streams on Twitch.
Oh, I did. I went to Xanadu recently for a pound, and
like Xanadu at the racetrack, Xanadu.
One of the camcorder setups, like for their smaller setup.
They do use the camcorder setup.
Yeah.
Did you happen to catch what camcorder it was?
I tried to take a picture, and then my camera was like acting up, and I was in the middle of like 3 other things at the time. So no, sorry.
Why don't you
appreciate it?
Why don't you just tweet them? I'm sure they'll.
You could. You probably could tweet Gimmer or Apostle or like any of those people. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess I can tweet Gimmer. Find out. Yo, what kind of camcorders do you use?
Sure.
Yeah, just pretend you're Dustin. Just like, yo, I was there the other day. Camcorder setup was sick. What camcorder was it?
I'm gonna have to get off Twitter soon though. Gotta get rid of it.
Why?
Because Elon's buying it, and it's gonna become crybaby playground.
All right. Well,
It's just gonna be cry, dude.
Hold on. If you want to talk about that, let's quote.
Do we? We don't have to talk about it.
We don't have to talk about it.
I just remember BG Boot Camp anecdote. When I was living in Baltimore, I randomly ran into, in completely different circumstances, both Gimmer and TK Breezy. And I think one of them might have been more than once, but I can't remember. All right, that's my story.
Good job, Nate.
I can go into more details if you're curious, but that's right.
You can say for the podcast, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe you don't want to out them.
No, I'll at them.
Okay.
Okay, so I changed things up a little bit. So I put in like a whole grid, so everything should be more or less equal size and equally aligned now. And I added Twitter handles, and that's.
You added Twitter handles?
I added Twitter handles.
Oh, look at that! I do have a Twitter handle.
Do I want to get added? I don't know. It's fine.
I figured.
Who is going to? Who?
I don't know.
Everybody watching this podcast is on this podcast.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
Okay.
I don't know. Look at my fucking background though. Like, look at this.
Like
You could do one of these Zoom things.
Do you want me to at you? I can at you right now and say clean your fucking room up.
Don't at me, motherfucker.
Is that like a tub of cheesy poofs?
No, that's a candle.
Oh, okay. It's much closer than I thought.
Dude.
I thought it was.
Did that fuck with your brain?
When he said it, I noticed it. It was like the association where it's like your brain. It's like, oh, cheesy poof. That's obviously what it is. And then like it was like a weird perspective.
Yeah, I saw it too.
But yeah,
that was pretty funny.
On our 20th episode, if we keep going strong, we'll all buy green screens.
Sure, man. Sure.
For what?
I'm already using a green screen.
Wait, just download NVIDIA Broadcast.
I live in a box.
I can't, dude. I got a 1080. You need at least a 2000 series.
Oh, it does use RTX cores. Okay, that makes sense. Well, rip.
Ripperoonie, man. All right.
What does?
Okay, so
NVIDIA Broadcast. It's the bullshit that Chris uses to make his background blurry.
Doesn't Zoom just do that for you?
It does, but it does it shitty.
But it sucks.
Right.
It sucks dick.
True.
Okay, Nate, you're up. So run the title screen. Intro music. Bum 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 bum. And main screen, and lead us in, Nate.
So what if Minecraft was real life, guys? How cool would that be? Minecraft. What if instead of real life, it was just mine? Okay, so more seriously, like what I was on. I think I was trying not to look on Reddit. So what I do when I'm trying not to look on Reddit is I look at Hacker News, which is like the Reddit that I can sort of pretend is more like work. And on Hacker News, every now and again this happens. There was a link that went back to Reddit, and then the whole exercise of trying to look at something besides Reddit seemed really futile. But the link was, how can I get my boyfriend to stop digging his tunnel?
Oh, I saw that post. That's a good ass post, dude.
Yeah, you need to read this now.
And
wait, we should probably go around and say names, right? I feel like names should always be at the top.
Okay, yeah, good podcast format things.
Like a full intro, Nate. Like a hello, how are you? Type thing.
Oh.
No, I think we're already past there. Keep rolling.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So we're doing this podcast. I think the podcast is called Listen to Me, and basically the format is we are listening to the things people have to say. And my name's Nathan, and I guess are we going to go clockwise? Is that enough detail? I don't know, like what else?
I think you got it.
Okay.
Enough, dude.
Hi, I'm Chris.
If we're on clockwise, skip Justin.
I think we all see different.
Literally anybody else can just pick up.
I think we are all seeing different things. So on that note, hello, I'm Allan.
Hey, I'm Justin.
Perfect, guys.
So the post goes, I know this is a weird question, but my boyfriend likes to spend a lot of his free time digging a tunnel on some property that he inherited. I haven't seen the full extent of it, but last I saw it was remarkably deep under the surface. He spent roughly a year on it, and it's evident. The front of the thing is wide, deep, and well put together. At the front, which is the only part I've seen, he's got cement beams, electric lights, even chairs, and a small table. I haven't got into it, but it looked like the quality severely dropped as the tunnel went further, mostly becoming open dirt with some wood beams holding it up. My biggest concern is for his safety. I'm really worried he's going to dig too deep. It's going to collapse on him or something. I've tried voicing this concern to him, but he just laughs it off and assures me that he'll be fine. Aside from the safety concerns, there's also the fact that he doesn't really have a social life because of this thing. I'm pretty much the only person he still talks to outside of his job. He doesn't go out and do anything anymore. It used to be that he'd occasionally head out and do only some digging on the weekends, but now he spends all of his free time out there. He still comes home, he barely spends any time with me, and I know that he isn't doing anything but digging that damn hole in the ground. This can't be good for his mental health, but I don't know how to convince him to stop. He's always really happy when he comes back from digging, which is why I haven't seriously tried to stop him before, but I was talking to a friend about him, and she told me he might be going crazy. Obviously, I don't think he's insane, but I hadn't considered his mental health aspect of this, and I just don't know what to do. TLDR, boyfriend spends all of his time digging a tunnel, and I'm worried for both his physical and mental health.
Okay.
So, I guess this made me think of, like, playing Minecraft. It basically just reminded me of a guy playing Minecraft IRL. That's basically where the theme of the episode came from, because it's like, I just had this image of this guy kind of like with a pickaxe, just like trying to find diamonds or something, and then just transferring that same grind to like just digging a tunnel in some random hill somewhere. So I guess I'd open up the floor and like kind of ask people like, is there some aspect of your like IRL world that you would want to like modify in like the spirit of like just making something in Minecraft? Is there like, does that cross over for you guys at all.
What is he digging that hole for?
What do you mean?
You don't ever get the masculine urge to just dig a tunnel?
You dig a hole.
No, I think that passed over my
beach?
testosterone genes.
What do you do at the beach? You dig a hole.
Yeah,
okay,
dog.
I understand. I can understand the enjoyment of digging a hole, but this is going beyond. Like, he's creating a house. He's creating a space down there. Like, he's creating a space. He even put tables and a chair.
Right. You can't tell me you haven't ever just wanted your own secret lair.
I totally want to. Yeah.
If he's building a secret lair,
he's kind of living the dream.
The next day, and told his girlfriend, "No, I'm building our second house down there." Would it still be a problem?
Well, yeah, because then it's not a secret lair.
Then it's a secret.
She's gonna come over and she's gonna figure it out.
There was a YouTuber that actually did that. I don't watch his channel, but that particular series got really popular. So I like skimmed around a couple of his videos. I think he's like a British engineer, one of those like British engineering big YouTube channelers. And he had like a shed with like a secret compartment like below it, and then he dug a tunnel between his house and his shed.
Isn't that the guy that also made the like? He made a bunch of weird shit, right? His YouTube channel's all like, so. "Hey, I made Wolverine claws, and they actually work in real life and stuff." Yeah. But that took a lot of work. It took like a shit ton of work and planning and like mapping of the territory and like making sure that he wasn't hitting.
And I'm pretty sure that guy's an engineer.
Yeah, it seemed like he knew what he was doing. But yeah, he was building.
I don't know. Like, I heard about this, and I'm like, dude, this is a sick idea. Like, this lady needs to fuck off. Like,
just digging a hole.
Like, just let the man work. Just let him do his thing. He's getting lots of exercise. He's exercising.
Pick up a shovel and fucking dig in there with him. God, why can't you?
What if I could, man?
Join hobbies. Not you, her.
Oh, her.
Her.
Yeah.
The partner. The partner.
I think it's like
join in on your friend's hobbies.
I think.
Could it be a bomb shelter? What if it's actually just like 5 steps ahead?
He's
Whatever
doomsday
he's using
prepping.
the fucking tunnel for it. That's good for him, man. That's his.
He's coming back really happy, and I think that's the bottom line.
Yeah,
right. He's enjoying himself, and then he's coming back and he's saying, "I had a good time." But is he going insane? And at which point is it a problem?
Is he getting irradiated down there? Sure, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Has he broken mentally? And he's like, "This is the only way forward for humanity. I will build this hole."
I mean, that's the fine line, right? Fine line between hobby and insanity. What is it?
What is it?
What is the fine line? Is it temporal? How much time you spend on it? Is it like subject matter? What you're doing? Some combination of the two?
I think it's like what do you tangibly expect what's the benefit of it? Like, people can get really into a hobby, but like if you can demonstrate on eBay, it's like, look, like I'm not crazy. People buy these like things that I'm like being crazy about. Then like you have some claim to sanity or something. But
I mean, okay, I don't even think a hobby has to be productive.
Right.
Like,
a hobby's value is in being a hobby.
Right. Exactly. It's internally productive. It is the enjoyment that you get out of it. That's the the product.
If old grandmas can go knit socks and burn them after that, like this dude can dig his tunnel and do nothing with it.
Agreed.
Do old grandmas actually do that when they knit?
I don't know what they do with their knit socks.
Your grandma didn't ever just burn the socks after?
Shoot
the fire?
You just like assume some Zen pose, like it's about the journey, and there's like a pile of burning like sweaters on.
I spent 6 years on this.
Do you guys ever finger weave?
Finger weave?
Finger weave?
Nobody finger weave?
What's finger weaving?
I'm really the one who knows about this. So it's like a finger weaving. It's like you get some yarn, and there's a way to like take your hand and like loop the yarn between your fingers, where you end up with this thing that's basically just this like, the only thing that it's possibly useful for is it could be like the tail for an animal in a costume. That's like the only thing that it could actually be. But you end up with that, but you can do it like. With your hand.
You get a tube of fabric of some sort.
I don't know if it's
not even a tube, like a flat.
It's like a little sheet. Yeah, it's like a little sheet of loose yarn.
You can make a bookmark out of it.
It reminds me of doing that with like rubber bands, like putting the rubber bands together and then spreading them apart so they make a weird shape.
Yeah, I think I did finger weaving in 4th grade, but we did it with like cardboard boxes. So you just get like cardboard boxes, you cut slits in the back, and then you like make 4 or 10 vertical lines, and then you just weave
Oh, that's you turn the cardboard box into like a loom.
Yeah, more or less.
Interesting.
But yeah, no, I do not finger weave currently.
I don't. What is it called?
I've never heard of it.
What is it called when you get like a piece of like yarn or something, and then like you go like this, and you make that like the weird patterns, and then someone else puts that in.
Yeah, I think that's called cat's cradle.
Cat's cradle.
Oh, cat's cradle is like one
pattern
version of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is in general. No, I know what it is. I just don't remember the word.
No, I think it's both. I think it's the name of the activity and one specific thing you can do with the activity.
Because I've done that. I haven't done that in like 20 years, but I've done that. But I haven't.
I remember trying that and thinking it was hard.
It's all right, buddy. Keep practicing.
So, okay, so he's just building a tunnel down there. He's just building a tunnel and he's just having fun with it. I'm impressed with concrete pillars.
Yeah, if he's fucking going out buying concrete, mixing it, forming
making
pillars,
a fucking pillar out of it. Yeah,
sick.
That's sick.
So to me, it seems like it does seem like it's connected to other things. Like it seems like it is connected with this urge to like customize your space, right? And like, so do you guys like? Do you ever have like plans to like renovate? Is this something that you just think about in the back of your head? It's like, what's like the ideal like living space? Is there any?
Yeah, I think we all do this with our like PC setups to some degree, right?
Sure.
Everybody here is subscribed to like battle stations, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Like, you know, I know I'm always screwing around and shopping for new shit that I could revamp my setup with.
Sure.
Yeah. I do that with this room. That's like, just going out and buying shelves and shit just to like put in a certain space. I think that's just normal. That's just like, it's nesting, right? It's like the nesting behavior of like making something yours, making it comfortable for you.
Mm-hmm.
This is different. Like he had a piece of land and he just went over there and was just like, I'm going to start digging. And I'm just going to keep going.
Well, see, the thing is like some people like what did it say? It said he goes to work and comes home and then starts digging. So
yeah.
I mean, some people like they might not have purpose in life, and he just started digging one day and he's like, this is a purpose. What's the
I'll
purpose?
find my purpose at the bottom of this hole.
Just to make it longer.
This hole was made for me.
Exactly.
There was actually a story in the news that this really reminded me of. You might have heard of it, Allan, because I think this happened. I don't remember the exact time frame. It was sometime after like Bitcoin started.
Sure.
And it was this guy. This guy had some Bitcoin money, and I think his parents had some house in the Bethesda area, like right.
Yes, I remember this. The pizza guy.
I'm not sure if pizza was involved.
I think it was a dude who lived in Bethesda. I know. Tell me if this is the story thing. A dude who lived in Bethesda, and he was. I think he made like a couple $1 million doing something software related.
I think it was Bitcoin.
And then
if we're thinking of the same thing,
he was a big doomer, and so he hired some guy. I'm pretty sure he was a pizza delivery guy, to come to his house. He would like blindfold him, put a bucket over his head, drive him around in circles for a while, then like take him to his basement for weekends at a time, like an entire weekend at a time. And he's like, all right, start digging. And this dude's job was to like dig a hole, and like I think he bought 2 houses next to each other, and he wanted to like connect them with like a secret tunnel.
No, that's the same story. I don't know about the 2 houses thing. I think it was just at his parents' house.
I don't remember why he was digging the hole then, if it wasn't to connect the 2 houses.
No, I think he actually he didn't just want like a bunker, but he wanted it to be a secret bunker. And his plan was to construct it without any evidence. So it's like, that's why he wanted to hire somebody that didn't even know where they were when they were digging.
Right.
And then the person that he hired to dig like wasn't allowed out.
Did he hire this person or kidnap them? Because this sounds like kidnapping.
I mean, that's like kidnapping, right?
Well, he
just kidnap someone.
He'd black bag him. He'd black bag him and then like drive him around circles, then take him to his house, then take the bag off, and then he'd say like,
I guess
it doesn't matter if someone paid money for that. It's still kidnapping. And then especially the part where he would not allow him to leave.
Sure.
Especially that part.
Well, we kind of buried the lead, and that is the fact that the only reason we've heard about any of this is there was a fire, and I think the guy who was working there died.
Right.
Oh my god.
Right.
And
dude.
So that's why this all came to light. And then that begs the question, so if this one guy really fucked up his secret bunker that he hired the black bag, like, secret worker for, if this guy really fucked it up and he had a fire, how many secret bunkers are there out there where the guy just checked all the boxes, did it right, and, like, there's just no evidence?
So many.
Probably.
So fucking many.
Probably quite a lot. Because, like, if you
at least 10, right?
At least 10.
Yeah.
At least 10.
I mean, if it's 1% of all, like, single family houses in the country, that would be,
I think a lot. Big number.
Several tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands.
I don't think there's a problem with that, though. As long as it's your land, as long as you're not disrupting other people, there's not a problem with digging a big hole.
Sure.
Kidnapping a person and forcing them to dig the big hole for you.
I mean,
that is a problem.
Was there like a contract, even like a spoken word one?
I mean, the dude kept coming back every week. He kept coming back every week to get black bags.
Like he had to be done willingly, right? And as long as you leave at will, like, hey, can you take him off the property? Like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
It sounds weird, but like
you know the guy died, right?
I mean, yeah, he died, but like that was an accident.
Was
that wasn't part of the plan, unless it was.
No, it wasn't, because that's like
because then his home's found out and he's screwed.
Yeah.
Well, one could argue it's like the fact that this situation was like dangerous enough that there ended up being like a fire means it wasn't part of the plan, but it's partly because there was no like official plan, right? Like.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, the guy, he probably died because like he was locked in a basement and then the place lit on fire. And I'm sure the last thing the kidnapper is thinking is, oh shit, I need to unlock that basement.
Do you think it crossed his mind just to like kind of leave him down there and just kind of like?
I don't want to get into that. That is a whole stretch of road that we're not prepared to drive on.
We already discussed getting rid of bodies last week.
Okay.
I know. This is starting to become a death podcast, Nate. It's kind of your fault.
I mean, murder porn is really popular, so.
Wow, yeah, I didn't even realize.
It's very popular.
If we want to go that route, we can.
Oh my god. You guys can bring the topic. I will talk to you all day about it, but there's no way that my web history is going in that direction.
There's a YouTuber my girlfriend watches. She does like, I think it's called like Makeup and Mystery or some shit. Or she does
Makeup and Mystery.
She does her makeup for like an hour and like does intricate makeup things while she's telling like a murder mystery the whole time and like all the details of it.
Interesting.
This is like the most feminine channel I've ever heard of.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Dude, fuck.
Yeah.
You have a fucking problem with that?
No, it's great.
Okay,
good.
I love it. I've seen a couple episodes. She draws you in with the story, man.
That's cool.
Does the makeup have something to do with the story?
Awesome,
I think it's just like she knows how to do makeup. She knows how to tell a story. She's like, I'm good at two things. I can do them both at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, clearly there's a market for it.
Yeah.
So.
That sounds legit.
So I want to talk about something. This reminded me something I was thinking about the other day. I'm watching Attack on Titan again, and a lot of the stuff that Attack on Titan talks about, a lot of the themes have to do with like war is bad, war is very bad, it does bad things, and it only produces bad outcomes. But then they have like all these other layers on top of it, and like Full Metal Alchemist told that same exact story 15 years ago, right? The same war is bad story overall, but didn't have all those layers on top. Everything feels like it's becoming so much more complex in order to compete. Like a woman doing really great makeup on YouTube by itself was fine.
Sure.
And like people would tune in for that, but now we have to like do incredible makeup and also tell stories. Is it that it's like we're forced to do that, or is that just where things are going?
It's where things are going. Like I like tech channels a lot. If we tried to start a tech channel today, the amount of like sheer investment we would have to do would be astronomical to like get to the like just the production level, not even like anything beyond that of like the other
just
tech
to
channels.
compete,
right? Because like if you look at tech channels from like 15 years ago, they're just fucking there with a handy cam, like here's this motherboard, like here's why it's cool, here's why it sucks, and people are like, holy shit, dude, no one ever thought of doing this. This is the greatest thing ever. And that now it's just like, It's like, all right, welcome to our tech channel. Here's a sweet motherboard. Now we're gonna jam like fucking 10 GPUs into it and see what happens. And they're shooting like 8K and like they shoot like 8K raw videos and like cut it down to like 4K and like they have like fucking teams of people editing that shit. It's a lot to compete with. Very, very few people I think can break into the tech world without substantial backing or some like very
that's like tech like media content though, and that that's like
I mean that's like the tech part of YouTube. Like tech, I guess tech review part of YouTube. There's other tech sectors.
Because I've heard that it's just media is just like that is very competitive across the board. Like not even in any specific area. It's just, and I think another thing that's true. I heard separately that the online economy, like the more interconnected economy, is actually it's increasing the total amount of money circulating, but like preferentially. Like that, a lot of that added money is all going to whatever like the standout best thing is. So like, if there's some obscure field like I don't know, like competitive
boxing.
Yeah, that's a good example. Like actually, like MMA or something. Like say like in the '80s, I don't know if MMA really existed in the '80s, but like something similar in the '80s, like you'd have like 100 fighters. And then like only like really like 20 of them could afford to be pro, and like the best one would get some amount of money. I've heard like by and large across the board, most people are getting like the same amount of attention, exposure, and income, except like the very best one, and that was that one guy's compensation's like off the charts.
It's the 1% problem. It's the Jeff Bezos, the Elon Musk problem.
There's there's a law. I forgot the name of it, but it's like in any given system, like 1% of, let's say in this case people, 1% of the people will outperform everybody else just by virtue of outperforming everyone else for one reason or another. Like
what Nate is talking about is like this self-perpetuating cycle where this one person is the best, and so they get the most money, which allows them to become more of the best, right. Which allows them to get even more money.
Sure.
And also that all this information is so accessible, like everything's so accessible and so immediate, and it's like just the natural thing is going to be to just pick that. And like as a technology user, I'm definitely guilty of it. It's like I will just kind of gravitate towards whatever I feel like is like the biggest like I don't know, most stable, like central. I'm not interested in like really investing a lot of time in something that feels like a peripheral project or like
even when you go to buy parts, you're not like looking at like brand number 5, 6, and 7. You're looking at brands 1, 2, and 3, and you're giving money to those brands that already have like incredible amounts of backing. I mean, that's just I feel like that's just a capitalism problem. Now this is a socialist podcast.
Please no.
So okay, yes. so relating this to like YouTube producers, there's actually one guy I watch. I think his channel is called HD TV Test. All he does is like fucking crazy technical reviews and videos on HD TVs, and just like he's getting a lot of viewers because if a regular tech reviewer reviews a TV, there's like, here's a TV, it does X, Y, and Z, it has X, Y, and Z like stats and stuff. Buy it, don't buy it. This dude's like fucking putting cameras on it. And he's like comparing it to reference, like those like $35,000 like reference mastering TVs.
Well, I think that's a good strategy because what it shows is in this information environment, like what you want to do is you want to really, really specialize because it's like there's so many people out there. They're all looking for the very best of whatever it is they're looking for. So then it's like if you can really drill down, you can keep on drilling down, keep on specializing, and then just like. Then become that thing for like some very, very niche,
right? So
segment, yeah.
The reason I don't think it's really a capitalism problem because like the same thing happens with just as civilization becomes more knowledgeable. Like if you look up, I think it's like Aristotle. If you look up Aristotle's Wikipedia page, it's like Aristotle was a philosopher, mathematician, biologist, historian, theologian, XYZ. But now like
right, because any of us would be considered now at the age of like 7,
right? But if you like a doctor today, like if you go to like your I don't know, your elbow doctor, and he's like, doctor, my knee also hurts. He's like, dude, I don't have a fucking clue about how knees work, man. Like,
is that sick though? Because I can go to my primary care physician and they know everything because they specialize in not specializing.
Right. But just like, but if you want a specialist, like the specialist doesn't know dick about anything else. They're just like, dude, I have no fucking idea. Like, I can send you to another guy. And he's like, well, can you tell me about elbows? He's like, dude, let me tell you all about elbows.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it's just, you know, back to the whole just I don't know what it was. I don't
know
it's
what
coming
that
from
was.
Nate. Nate, I'm gonna call you out.
Going back to me.
No, the beep boop.
We heard a boop.
Oh yeah, no, that was that Bluetooth. I don't know why I did that. It's like, so I think maybe somebody in my building like accidentally connected, and then like
is it open?
It'll allow you to connect if you hit the button.
Okay.
There's like no other way to control it. It just has one button.
Fair enough. All right.
And so maybe yeah, or maybe it was like I honestly, but it makes that noise anytime something connects to it, and I wish I could turn it off. Also, when sound stops playing, it makes this popping noise. It like when silence in some sort of video goes from being silence in a video to like the playback actually ending, it goes like bam, like.
And is this because you didn't buy from a place that specializes in Bluetooth speakers?
It's Logitech. But
yeah, they specialize in not specializing.
Yeah. So is that other thing that I got.
Too many.
I think that
they do too many things.
I
got a camera.
That headset I was trying to use last time was also Logitech.
Not gonna be sponsors here. Fuck them.
They make good mice. I'd say they specialize in that, right? I don't know.
Logitech mice are pretty dope. That's definitely their crowning achievement. Their keyboards are whack. Their keyboards are bad.
Yeah, the keyboards are bad. Not good.
That was actually another thing I was thinking about having as a topic, was that we sort of touched on it last time, and it's like, what's an object that you've like completely used, like completely worn it out, or I don't know, something like that you've gotten like the most use out of, and then like to the point where you actually like physically, something that you just ran into the ground, I guess.
I think for all of us, that's mice. I think for all of us, we all have mice that we ran into the ground.
Yeah, right. I had a G5 that I used for like 10 years every day. Like it had like big wear spots on it that were just like, it was like this like I don't know, like dried lava kind of look. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The spots where I touched it were just like they were like smooth stones.
Right.
Yeah. You wear it out, and yeah.
G400,
I think those might work great for it.
G400, one of the best mice ever made.
I remember.
G400 is a golf streamer.
What?
Well, let's all get some G400s then.
How are you going to buy a G400 right now for $25 on eBay? That's insane.
Or
but yeah.
$34.5 million with a 5,000 mile range.
G400 as in the MX 518, right?
Yeah. It got rebranded, or they
okay. So
it.
Allan didn't even have it for a super long time because it was G400.
I had the G400, and those things were selling for like $150 a little bit ago. No, not like within the past.
I have one in my closet. Do you want it? It's got a Doom emblem on it. No, it's just sitting there.
I still have mine. The cable came undone from like the little chip on it. I tried to like solder back on, but I failed.
I feel like they've really segmented the market really well, and I suspect they've also kind of gotten to the point like
Logitech in particular.
Just I don't know, maybe like I'm suspicious of companies that are able to. So okay, my reference point here is cars. So cars, it's like the design of the cars got better and better, and the cars got more and more reliable. And I think this happened until like 1985. And then like somebody had this like epiphany in 1985, and it's just like, wait a second, if we make the cars better, we get less money, so we have to make the cars worse. And then that's what they started to do. And like so in the 90s, like all like Ford and GM and like I think they basically all and a big people that had a big part to play in this were actually the dealers too, because the dealers put the manufacturers under a lot of pressures for like the fact that they wanted cars that needed maintenance. That was like a big part of their business model. And I'm just suspicious that like once you get through, like the first part of the playbook for a business is like making good product, like getting brand recognition, blah blah blah. That's all like the good parts. And capitalism arguably works in that section of the playbook. Then you get past that, and then you're like, then you have to start engineering your revenue stream. And then a lot of the times this actually involves like doing like borderline monopoly bullshit and like making your products like worse. And
Is this actually becoming a socialist podcast?
Maybe.
So, I'll balance it out.
So, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I don't have anything on this particular subject. I will say,
I live in Austin, Texas. I got a button-up shirt with Leafs on it.
oh, I
Socialist, let's go.
Okay, I can balance it out. All right, so the idea of planned obsolescence has been around for like decades, but I don't really believe in it. Like,
wait, you don't believe that it exists?
I don't believe in it. I don't think it is actually a thing in most areas. Like maybe there are some exceptions, but like for something to just break over time because you don't want to make the product too good, I think is a silly idea.
You want a return customer. You want
a big
somebody...
part of so I think planned obsolescence would work if you have like an actual monopoly. Like if you were the only producer of that good, then yeah, you can do that. Like because people don't have a choice but to buy from you. If there's good competition in the market, and by good competition, I only mean like 3, maybe 4 like competitors.
Right.
Then they're gonna try to outcompete each other. Like they're gonna try to make products that last slightly longer and slightly longer and slightly longer until they can't really produce something that lasts longer because people are gonna buy whatever's best generally. Yeah. So if something is known for being bad, I don't think people are gonna buy it in general.
So I think that we do see monopolies in a lot of areas already. The only people that make iPhones are Apple, and they can make iPhones however they want, and people are still going to buy iPhones. Like we've already gotten to that point where people will continue to like buy a product. And I think planned obsolescence was actually like a tactic of theirs for a short amount of time, and they got caught on it. Like they would have updates that would make older phones noticeably run slower in order to like push people to upgrade the products.
So for luxury
I think
goods,
worst case capitalism, it is the ultimate goal. Right, is like make sure you have a customer that can come back and continue to give you all their money. Worst case capitalism.
Yeah, and that's why government regulations are important. I would say luxury goods are sort of an example, sort of an exception to that rule. Apple, I think, is jewelry first. Like, at least as for the reason that people actually purchase it. Like, I don't think people give a shit about the specs. I don't think that people give a shit about like what it actually does for them. In general, anyway. There are exceptions.
Well, for specifically Apple now, because they built the ecosystem, now people really care about the ecosystem. So I think it might be even ecosystem first, then jewelry, and then whatever else.
But it definitely get you. Like even if their phones didn't break down in a year, they would still like the people who are going out and buying them would still go out and buy them.
Right.
Right. Like if their phone works perfectly fine, that's not the reason why they're buying the new phone.
There is pretty good competition in phones. Like so, Apple's the only one that makes iPhones. Fine, I think that's less of an issue. I think Apple's the only one that makes iOS. That's a bit more of an issue. So
Microsoft's the only people who make Windows OS.
I mean that's true. That's true. But in terms of like phones and stuff, they're always going to make a phone every year. Almost everyone's going to make a phone every year because A, that's now the exception. B, people with last year's phone will go out and buy the next year's phone. And C, you can't risk losing a year because there's people who will wait 3 or 4 years and then buy a phone. And then when it comes time to buy a phone, oh, there's no new Apple phone this year. All right, going to go buy the Samsung phone this year because Samsung's going to make a phone every year. But I think that's kind of okay because there's a shitload of competition in phones. Aside for Apple iOS, everyone else Android. There's like crazy good competition in phones. If I was a little bit less paranoid, I'd honestly buy a Chinese phone because Chinese phones are sick. Chinese phones are sick. They have so many features. They have everything you've ever wanted in a phone.
Chinese phones.
They're also Chinese
I
phones.
totally agree with the paranoia.
Like,
yeah, those phones that keep a track of your social score.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm on Project Fi, and that's kind of weird with some phones, which is why I prefer just trying to get a Pixel phone. But
I feel like we've just accepted monopoly in some aspects. We're just like, whatever. Nobody else is going to make.
Monopoly is producing the best product, then they're just competing.
I think there's
not necessarily, and so I think there are ways that whole industries can avoid competing in ways that aren't like explicitly illegal. It's like because it's like they can just once you get to a certain scale and you get like an advertising budget to a certain like you get an advertising department of a certain size and you get enough people thinking about this, it's like you can actually sort of put your finger on the scale a little bit on like what's the public perception of even normal behavior. And like I feel like the public perception of normal behavior has changed. Like people like aren't really like the norm of actually just trying to get like the thing like the objects that you're going to use for the rest of your life. That norm is kind of gone, and it's being replaced by like the season by season, like what's like hot this season, like that, and that's sort of become the norm. And like anybody that's selling stuff benefits from that norm, basically. And then like if the focus is kind of shifting to that, then maybe you could say it's not planned obsolescence to build products for that, but it kind of is, right? Because it's kind of like it's sort of fitting this new market where you're just not building stuff for like to last the same time.
Yeah,
like,
not building stuff to last, I think, is a different concept than
planned obsolescence. Is specifically building it, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, even building things with market trends in mind, like phones, for example. I think that's still okay because that's what people are expecting out of the product. I don't think that okay, if there was like a new magic car that needed zero maintenance and was competitively priced, I don't think anyone would ever buy one of the other cars that are around. So like, yeah.
At least until you get to luxury cars.
Which again, luxury cars. Luxury
goods. I mean, this actually is why people bought Japanese cars in the 90s. Because I've heard used car dealers say like you could take a Honda, like a 1996 Accord, and you could weld the hood shut and get to 200,000 miles on it.
Maybe.
And they actually don't they don't make them like, and it's a very cliche thing to say, but like, and I think what happened was like that their dealers were suffering that nobody was bringing these cars in, and like they kind of need their dealers, and they started adding these things where like you get a light that's like bring your car in for service, like it needs such and such bullshit, and like does it really? Like
I think cars aren't the best example of this. Like for one, I get what you're saying. Like American cars sucked ass in the 90s. And then all the European cars and Japanese cars were beating them. So then they spent the next like 15 years trying to become better. And American cars, I think, are in an actually pretty good place now.
Well, but that's not the only thing that's changed. Like the Japanese cars have gotten worse, and it's like, my theory is the Japanese cars got worse because the manufacturers caught on to the same kind of concept that the American manufacturers figured out in the 80s, which is that like better isn't actually better. Like I think they just kind of figured that out.
I think as the complexity of a system grows, which cars like even internal combustion engines or internal combustion cars, pretty simple. Couple gears here, a motor, some lines.
I don't think that's true at all. I think they're massively complicated.
They're relatively simple compared to today's cars, which are like all turbocharged, all have like 500 computers, all running like 400 different sensors in 600 different spots. Like they're so overly complicated. Like one thing breaks, Like it just like breaks another thing, breaks another thing, breaks another thing.
Yeah, and I think probably it is true that cars in the 90s were probably somewhat more durable, but I think there were a lot of trade-offs for that, right? Like gas mileage now is much better than it was in the 90s. You get a lot more features out of like the car that you buy, like
safety features specifically.
Safety features,
backup cameras, all that shit.
Everything's computerized. You get better dash experience between the radio and like the your actual notifications on your dash, all that kind of other shit. If you just make a car 100% made of steel with no power locks, no power windows, like nothing that would require maintenance, then you're probably going to have a car that nobody's going to buy. Just straight up.
I think speaking of making a car out of steel, I think, Nate, it might be more of a materials issue than anything else, because we added a shitload of plastic to cars the past 20, 30 years. And
my understanding is it was actually just the powertrain stuff. Like that's what I thought was kind of key to it. Was like, do you need to bring it to the shop to keep it running or not?
I don't know. I don't have the facts to be able to back up anything on that. Like my understanding is that that's more or less been the same for the last 30 years.
Were people in the 70s and 80s more prone to like changing the oil and fluids in their car? Maybe it was maybe it's a social thing. Like maybe society just like, I don't know, maybe we're all just like, the car will be fine until 50,000 miles, no oil change. And that's what everyone's doing, and the cars are fucking up. I do agree with you, Nate, that there does seem to be like, maybe like a decline in cars that are going like 200,000 miles. Although maybe a lot of cars don't have enough time these days to go 200,000
yeah,
miles.
it might not be, we might not have the time to be seeing that. I definitely think the 80s and 90s were not times that we could really consider. I mean, those were like peak capitalism, peak trying to figure out ways to make things cheaper and mass produce.
But yeah, I mean, like, I don't think there's planned obsolescence in cars, but I do think it's just like, just
yeah. I mean,
try and get this part, have it last at least 50,000 miles, like, and they spend all their engineering making sure it'll go at least 50,000 miles, and then if it goes even more after that, then that's like a boon. But if it doesn't, like, it doesn't matter, because the spec sheet said 50,000 miles, not a million.
Also, I don't know anything about cars, so I can't tell you.
I don't really.
Somebody can tell me that usually cars are supposed to explode when you like.
Straight hearsay.
Yeah, this is all basically hearsay. Like, but I don't know.
Objection.
Dude, did you see the Amber Heard trial? Little clips of it.
Hell yeah, dude.
Did you see the one where the lawyer objected to his own question?
I sure did.
Apparently that's legit, because it is.
Yeah, so he wasn't objecting to the question. He was objecting to the testimony that the guy was giving, which, to be fair, was hearsay. He worded the question in such a way that it allowed for hearsay to come out.
Right.
Which was lawyering,
he played himself.
But technically legal. Yeah.
Yeah.
You played yourself.
It's fantastic. I'm just so shocked. Like, the story goes that like their couples therapist said, "Why don't you guys record your conversations, play it back, and then we'll see what's what." So like, okay, here's like fucking 50 hours of them fighting.
It is a lot. There's a lot of just random conversations. That seems. Do you guys just record everything that happens in your house?
I'm sure.
I mean, when you're trying to win a divorce, I guess you do.
That I gotcha.
It's wild, man. Like, it's entertaining for us, I guess.
For sure.
Oh man, poor Johnny Depp.
So one thing that I can't help but wonder, it's like, so you got this recording, and then Johnny Depp is like, "Hey, so like we're doing that thing where we're kind of yelling at each other, and I just kind of want to leave, and we'll talk about this in a few hours." Seems very reasonable to me. And then Amber Heard is like, "Oh my God, if you leave, like when we're fighting, like it makes me feel like I'm gonna die," and then she's freaking out. Poor thing, like. Should I say poor thing in this situation? I don't know. Was that her being manipulative, or is that her like actually? I don't know. But so my question is like, just take a random swath of people, like what, listening to that same clip, like I just wonder like what the ratio of people like sympathizing with whichever side is, right? Like I don't know. It seems to me pretty obvious that like Johnny Depp was trying to do the right thing there, but is there a perspective I'm missing? I don't know.
I think Johnny Depp is definitely winning in the court of public opinion right now.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
For sure.
I haven't watched enough of the trial to actually say who's winning the trial, although my impression is that Johnny is.
He's also winning.
Yeah. But
so
what point was I trying to make with this? I don't know. Someone else.
Oh no. I think you were just kind of answering. So if you have like a pie chart,
well no.
it's like it's like the Pac-Man is like Johnny Depp and.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But to that particular point, Nate, I think there's two schools of thought. One is like it's okay to take a break and like cool down when you're in an argument, and two is like if something happens, talk about it in the moment because like you don't want to sit on it and brew and like breed internal negative thoughts and like.
I've always heard the opposite, especially from counselors.
Yeah,
that you are supposed to take space. You are supposed to take time because you don't want the emotions of the moment to cloud everything else that you're talking about, especially if you're like having a conversation or an argument about something that is pertinent to your life.
Fair enough.
To be charitable to Amber, it could be that he was just exiting the conversation, not just taking a break, just exiting and always exiting. And if you're ignoring conflict and you're just pushing it away, that's also bad. But I think that's also being really charitable, Amber Heard.
Sure.
It sounded like.
I mean, what got me is that she did seem genuinely distressed, and I think some people, I think some people listening to it, like that's going to be, different people are paying attention to different things. I think some people listening to it, that's going to be what they're looking for, and he sounded kind of cool and collected. She sounded genuinely distressed, and then. Some people going into it, I think that's all they need to hear, and they'll be like, "Oh, like, well, I'm on her side now," because like, that seems to be like the way the power is balanced, and like they just want to help rectify something. But like, she seemed genuinely distressed, but I just could not understand why, and that's the problem I was having because I don't know, it just seems like the right thing to do. It's like, let's just
exactly what Justin was saying. Like, I feel like there's two reasons why she could have been distressed, and one of them could have been that just like she was done getting to a point where they were starting to have an argument and then him just leaving. Like Justin was just saying, if he was continuously ignoring this problem and continuously like just exiting the conversation whenever it started to get too serious, it is understandable for her to react in a way that is negative towards that, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, if that makes sense, that's the first thing out of it, so
I think,
but that's making a lot of assumptions as to like how other conversations have gone and how this whole like thing spiraled out, because it could have just been a single conversation where he was like, "Nah, I'm leaving. I don't want to do this right now," and then she flipped out.
Right. I think it's also like, again, from the court of public opinion, from like clips on YouTube, and no one's sitting there watching the entire trial. At least I don't think either of the four of us are sitting there watching the entire trial. Like there's several clips, and there could be plenty of clips of Johnny Depp saying shit like this too, but there's several clips that have gone viral of Amber Heard just like constantly being like no one's gonna believe you, you're a man, like I lied Johnny, clearly I lied, and then like the whole like her throwing like shit at him and slapping him and
cutting his finger off and
putting a cigarette out on his face.
So it's just like, it's like, okay, I can understand the distress. Like I can understand your point of the distress, Nate, but if I think of it from Mr. Depp's point of view, where it's like, okay, like this lady is crazy, she's throwing bottles at me, I need to step away from this conversation as she's getting angry.
Because what else do you do to a partner that is getting violent?
Right.
Like, you get violent to stop them? No, you leave. You step away from it. Because there's no, like, right answer in that situation.
Yeah, you can either leave or comply with whatever their request is. And if you can't comply, you just gotta leave and take a break.
Assuming they're not going to chase you with a knife.
I wonder, like, when did this start to show up? Like, is this the kind of thing that people are just sort of like, kind of like pretending isn't happening.
What kind of thing?
This specific like issue.
So, however, like whatever emerged in their relationship that sort of became this big problem where there's like these types of arguments and this type of violence, like. Do you think this would have showed up only after they got married, or are they just kind of like pretending there's nothing wrong? And
I think the only reason we know about any of this is because Amber Heard tried to take legal action against Johnny Depp.
No,
I think that's the only reason we're hearing about a lot of this.
Yeah, but that's not my question. I'm just wondering. Is like, would there be like, does all this just like come out? It's like, so you got married and you had your honeymoon, and then bam, this happens, or is it like?
I think
this is just kind of like there's like something like the pearl of this that's there from the beginning, and it's like getting worse.
I think relationships fall apart for a lot of reasons.
Sure. In terms of this, like it's like if one partner is like, I'm not saying either of them are, but like if one partner is actually like, you know, a sociopath or really close to it, or like extremely manipulative, or like extremely narcissistic, like way over the line, then like everything might be fine, like through the marriage up to the like post honeymoon, and they're just like, all right, locked in, time for the crazy to come out. Or they just might be like, you know, just slowly adding on like the manipulation and the gaslighting over time, and then like a year or two after the wedding, a couple years into the marriage, like it just like, you know, I guess the targeted person snaps maybe. Yes, sir.
Yeah, shit happens.
I'm gonna present an option.
Yes, sir.
What if it was fun? What if Johnny Depp was having the time of his life until he wasn't? What if it was a really good time that she was a little bit nuts every once in a while, and she would yell and they could yell at each other, and it was fine until she got out the butcher knife? I have been in relationships where I really enjoyed having arguments with somebody else, and I really enjoyed like getting angry at somebody else. It happens. It's like those emotions are very closely tied, and it feels good. Yeah, it feels good sometimes. So like maybe it was just fun for as long as it was, and then one day it just stopped being fun, and Johnny Depp was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And she was like, well, that's too bad. Because that's like what? I don't know. It sounds like...
I want to get off Mr. Bones' wild ride.
Yeah. Well, then I think that comes down to like...
You're forever.
That comes down to like your threshold of crazy. It's like, is your threshold of crazy like... literally like, let's get some fucking knives and find an animal and like sacrifice like the blood in like the forest and shit? Or is your level of crazy just like, hey, let's fight, throw some pillows at each other, and then like bang on in front of the fireplace? Like,
see that interpretation actually really clarifies something else that I was wondering about, and that is the fact that when Johnny Depp was relating this scene where after he already got the restraining order on him, Amber invited him to meet in San Francisco, and they went to this hotel room, and he brought this knife, and then he was just like, you see this hand, you see this knife, take my blood. That's the only thing left. And then like, it's just so dramatic. Like it actually makes a lot more sense if that
actually happened, it is very dramatic.
It makes sense if he's having fun with that. It's like,
yeah,
it's like, you have taken everything from me. Take my blood. I don't know.
I mean, from what I understand about those, like, I guess toxic relationships is that, you know, you have really low lows, and that makes the high highs feel even higher. So
it's like drugs.
Yeah, like you might be having a good time, and I guess in net until you're not, and then it's just really bad.
Mm-hmm. I've been in a relationship or two like that, and that's exactly how it is. There's some really high highs and some really low lows. It's just super unstable. It's a roller coaster, and nobody wants to be on a roller coaster forever.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Hey man, stability, consistency, shit's great. Roller coaster is fun a couple times around the loop, then you start throwing up.
Yeah, man. You gotta get off Mr. Bones' wild ride. Yeah.
I'm glad that we could clarify that for you. Genuinely.
Yeah, for sure.
Nate, you seem so broken now.
Am I? I don't know. We're not talking about Minecraft. I feel like I failed.
I mean, this all parlayed from Minecraft.
All right.
Like, I think it was a good opener, man. I think it was good.
So what was your original question? You brought less of a topic and more of just like a question to the group. What was the question you were gonna ask?
Oh, I don't know. I guess it's like so this guy, it's like his dream was like when he closed his eyes, he just saw himself like 200 meters inside of a hill in his tunnel. And then like, so if you close your eyes, like where are you? I guess that's the question.
I think we should end on this. I think everybody should give their answer, and then that should be the closer. Yeah?
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
To clarify, are you asking what our happy space is, or are you asking what our space would be in Minecraft?
No, what is like summoning you the way this tunnel is summoning that guy, like in your imagination?
What is pulling the center glob in your chest forward?
Interesting. An excellent question.
I can go first, but I want you guys to be ready with yours before I start going.
Go for it.
Space. I want to go to space so fucking bad. I would do anything I could to ever go to space. I am not smart enough, not rich enough. I don't know, any of the other millions of things. I will never get to space. Everything inside of me is saying, like when I go to sleep at night, I'm like, man, I wish I could just travel through space. I don't even care. I don't even care if I couldn't touch anything or land on planets. If I could just float endlessly through the black nothing, forever.
Twitter Spaceman said that the ticket to Mars is only going to be $100K.
It's not good enough. I will pay $100K for them to put my body into a tube and then launch that tube into space.
Okay.
When I die.
Not before you die, right?
Maybe.
Maybe. Maybe. Okay.
Ooh. That's a good
Maybe
question.
you were terminally ill.
Yeah, you got a month to live. All right, I'll live out that month in space.
Sure.
Peace.
I guess.
All right, that's mine.
Mine would be getting Christopher to space.
Damn. Simp.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like, there's a big part of me that's like build something. So I really sympathize with the guy digging a hole. He's building something. For me, it's just like build something. Make something. Make it yourself. Make it with your own hands. That's why I wish I was a bit more hands-on with certain things. That's why I took up a painting class a couple of months ago, just so I could actually like build something and see it like get accomplished in front of me, stroke by stroke. Because building something bigger, you can lay each brick, but can't really see the thing getting formed until it's done and you can step back. So I guess for me it's to build something. What that thing is.
If I ever come back to the East Coast, we should do blacksmithing classes together. Sure. And then we can build some cool shit.
Blacksmithing classes. Dude, that's sick. Yeah.
That would be sick.
I'd be down.
Hell yeah.
Do like welding too.
Yeah, welding's cool.
Sure.
For me, you're done, Allan, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I appreciate that. Go ahead, Justin.
I think it's bed. I think I just want to go to bed. Like, I get done with work after a day. I just want to go to bed. Not go to sleep necessarily. Just go to bed and chill out and veg and just play video games on my handheld, look at my phone, watch my TV, pet my cat. Like, I just want bed sometimes, man.
So you just want to feel safe?
It's not even safe. Like, safe is like one thing.
Sure.
Comfy is like, that's where it's at. Like, I just want to be comfy.
I'll get you a blanket, buddy. Don't worry. You'll be comfy.
Yeah, sure, man.
Hey, what's yours?
Good. So I thought about this, and I think like what I'm kind of stuck on is the fact that like the thing that I want to build for myself, like I'm not even sure if it's possible, because like I want it to be basically, it's like I want the good parts of like living in a city and not living in time, and that's like I want to have like open tract of land. I want there to be like water running through it, I don't know. I want to do cool stuff with the water running through the land that I own, but I also want to be able to like walk to the grocery store. So it's like those two things. And I feel like I would. I don't want to be like, after I've like engineered my like land with the stream running through it, and like I've like built like, I don't know, renewable energies in the mix somewhere. I want that and stuff, and I want it to be like a cyber home. That's what I want. But once I build it, I'm gonna be sad if I can't walk to the grocery store. So like wherever I build the cyber homestead, like I want to be able to walk to the grocery store. And I don't know if there's even like a spot like that. So
you could probably
go
invent
live teleportation.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking.
That would be sick.
You could probably live in rural Japan.
Rural Japan.
Happy. Yeah, I think so.
Austin's
like if you live out in the countryside, you can pretty much do what you want, and it's still fairly walkable as long as you're near like a town.
So I did see that video of that. It's like, it's like the zoning or something in this town in Japan. It's like they had how it's like the density of the suburbs, but they are just like stores like sprinkled around. Like that seemed awesome. I was like that. I just want to live somewhere zoned. I want like mixed use, residential. I want like, I don't know, if there's like if there's a store selling food, to me it completely transforms the space. It just like, if I go into a shopping center, the second I discover like none of the stores in the shopping center sell food, it's like they're all furniture and then dentist, like the shopping center sucks. Like,
dude, like Japanese zoning is amazing. Like basically their zoning laws are like you can put a residence anywhere, like literally anywhere except for like major industrial areas. Like you can have apartments above a barber shop, which is directly next to a fish market. Like it's you just throw shit around and it actually works. It makes this like really nice mixed use like kind of living that I would super love in America, and we just don't have it because our zoning is so shit.
Very few places, Nate, I'm thinking of, at least in this area, you could do, because I know in some places in DC, like if you're walking around like your neighborhood, some of the random houses will be like restaurants and markets. But I think those are all like grandfathered in some old shit.
Yeah, they're all zoned for single family homes or something, but they just turned the single family homes into businesses.
Right.
Yeah. So apparently it's all about zoning. Yeah. I guess that's
literally just zoning.
Makes sense.
It's like municipal.
Our home prices suck dick. That's why like we don't have we don't have walkable living. We have to drive everywhere. Like American zoning is just bullshit. It's just horseshit. I could do a whole fucking podcast about American zoning.
All right,
well, that
Nate,
could be your topic.
Sure. Nate, we found it. We found your passion is going to be to run for governor and fix zoning in whatever state you in.
Municipal administration.
There you go.
Get to play Sims, but for a whole city.
Exactly.
Like Sim City?
But what would be cool though?
That'd be a great game. You should make that.
Yeah, man.
It would be cool to just actually like, I don't know, some volcanic island erupted from the ocean somewhere, and just like you're the first one to like getting to start from scratch.
I thought about that.
Just buy a private island. $3 million probably.
But it's still going to be technically.
We could probably pull up for a private island. I think $3 million is a bit low.
Maybe in like 20 years.
$3 million would barely buy you a house in most U.S. cities.
Yeah. Wait, barely? I don't know about that.
It'll buy you a nice one.
Yeah, maybe.
No, $3 million is a nice house in pretty much everywhere in the country, except for maybe like the Bay Area and New York City.
Yeah.
Even New York City, it'd be a pretty nice house.
Yeah, that's still a pretty nice house in New York, I think. I think they have some areas that are zoned for single families.
Nice parts of DC.
$3 million would get you quite a lot in DC.
Yeah, that's a pretty big house. That's
okay.
like that's like an Andy house.
Islands. You could probably get a small
inside
island
of DC.
There are islands in Maryland you can get for like.
Yeah, those islands have a catch though.
What's the catch?
What's the catch?
They're sinking.
They're sinking. Of course.
There's
They
like
should be fixed.
I have
we could like drill in and we could put up river walls all around so that
and
make your own Minecraft.
I guess you could get like a Netherlands type situation. For some reason I hadn't even realized that that's so. Apparently the whole eastern shore of Maryland, it's not just the ocean rising. It's like there's some geological reason why it's actually sinking, and like all these towns are getting flooded and
aren't all islands sinking? Technically,
maybe. I'm not sure. So I know a lot of islands are like, and those tend to get like worn away.
Yeah, the ice caps are melting, sea levels are rising, and therefore, when the water will be going up.
No, So for that reason, like any island, like that. Yeah, I mean, so I actually don't know if there's been that much of a measured sea level rise yet. But despite that, there are like a lot of areas that they're effectively getting a sea level rise just because like the land is actually going down. Like so it's like in this part of Maryland it's happening faster than say like some other random coastline. That's my understanding anyway.
So it looks like the sea level rise since 1993 is about 3.4 millimeters per year since 1993.
Apparently,
so I think it's gone up like 3 inches or something.
The 1800s.
Yeah, I mean it's been going on a while, but it's gotten worse recently. I think.
Pangea and all that shit. We're just moving. We're just on big moving islands.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a lot. There's still a lot of oceanfront property that's really a lot of money in it. Just wonder why.
Allan, you need to figure out a effective way to end the podcast.
The effective way to end the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, is by saying we're ending the podcast.
I am kind of tired.
We've had a lovely time. Next week it'll be Justin or I. We'll figure that out, and we'll regale you all with tales of love, loss, and poor relationship choices. Until next time, Nate, sign us out.
All right, I'm Nathan. Bye. Do the Zoom meeting wave.
All right, Zoom meeting wave, boys.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Should we go around? Okay, I don't know.
No. All right, see ya.
Nope.
Good night.